Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout. This one is for the Paige Evans design team. And for this layout, I have already chosen a quote from Pinterest that I want to use on my layout. And I pre-cut a bunch of tiny squares on my cameo mat here. And I based the pattern off of this paper, which is paper number 10, and I used a lot of those little squares plus some of the 6x6 paper pad from the Oh My Heart collection. And each of those little squares is 2x2, and the focus this week is on stamps, so I'm also going to be incorporating a couple of the acrylic stamps from Oh My Heart. So I went ahead and did this work before I started filming because it's just basically cutting little squares and sticking them on my silhouette mat. And I've already run it through my cameo, and I've got a real fun title here, and I wanted it to be bright and colorful, and that's definitely what it is. I love this collection. The colors, the patterns are just so much fun. So there's my quote: "No one will ever be as entertained by us as us." And it's this picture that I'm going to scrap. It's of me and my sister, and we are making ridiculous faces. We're cuckoo. Yeah, we're just crazy like that. And every time we get together, we have to do selfies. And you know how that goes. You do serious ones, you do funny ones. We always have to make goofy faces. So at first I thought I was going to use that teal colored cardstock as my background. But then I saw this paper from the Oh My Heart collection. And it's paper number 1, I believe. And it's pretty much the same color as the teal, but it's got a little bit of a pattern if you look at it up close. So before I stick everything down, I'm going to do a little bit of gesso work here, and I tend to do this a lot. I just smudge some on and then use my hand to kind of blend it. And I covered quite a bit of the paper, and you can still see the color. I didn't completely white it out. I just wanted bits and pieces of it to be kind of faded. And so I'm going to come in with some of my shimmers here, and the colors I tend to use quite a bit. Jenny B Blue and Well Blue Me Down, and this is kind of an aqua greenish color and a blue turquoise color. And right now I'm just trying to create some watercolor splotches. This is, you know, there's no rhyme or reason, there's no science behind this. You just spray some onto your packaging and then smush the packaging down. And sorry if I sound a little stuffy today. My head is very tight and I've been sneezing all day, so hopefully I don't sound too terrible. Now I'm going to add a little bit of pink. This is a Vibes. It's called Sweetheart. Again, it's another one of my favorite pinks. And a lot of this is going to be covered with the title, the quote, and also the picture. So my goal is to have all of this pretty watercolor kind of peeking through everything. This is a golden yellow color. It's called Glorious Day. And I want this to be soft and subtle, yet bright and pretty at the same time. So I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to spray some directly onto the paper and then smush it around with the plastic. The packaging plastic just gives it a different finish, I guess you could say. It doesn't look like a brush put the paint on there. It kind of gives it this splotchy color, and I don't know how to describe what it looks like, but I just love how it looks. So most of that is dry, and I like how it looks. It's not too crazy, but it does give some interest to the background. And I'm going to come in and start playing around with my letters now, and I'm going to try to place them around my picture. Yeah, I saw this quote on Pinterest, and I thought that is a perfect quote for a picture of me and my sister, because if you're like me and you have a sibling or a really close best friend, you probably do goofy things that everyone else would think is stupid, but you think it's hilarious. That's pretty much us. We love to have conversations and movie quotes. I don't know if you are a movie buff, but we can have entire conversations using lines from movies. And so no one else thinks that's funny when we're around them because they don't know the movies. So yeah, we think we're hilarious, but everyone else is like rolling their eyes and thinking, those girls are crazy. Anyway, I did a little bit of machine stitching there. I just used a light pink thread, did a straight stitch through each of those words there. Nothing too fancy, just something to make sure they're all nailed down and to give it a little interest and texture there. So I'm going to come in with some tissue paper, and that's just some random tissue paper from my stash. And I want to add a little bit of color behind it, so I'm going to add a little bit of layering. This mustard yellow color is a nice one since I've got some of that color going through the quote. And I don't feel like I need any other teal things because the background is teal. So I feel like I've got plenty of that. And there's also some of the letters that have teal in it. So trying to kind of pick and choose colors that I don't have a lot of. This paper, oh my goodness, I need like 100 copies of it. This is paper number 6, and it's that gorgeous floral paper. I already used one sheet of this on a layout not too long ago where I fussy cut a lot of those flowers out. And I know Paige has used it as well. It's very popular. And so I thought I'm going to go back to that paper and do a little bit more fussy cutting with some of these flowers. I love the colors. They're all different shapes and sizes. And I thought that they would be pretty kind of peeking out from behind my photo. And it would give a little bit of extra color. I kind of rearranged them here momentarily, though. I didn't want it to be too busy. The way I have it now, I feel like it's a little bit busy because the title's so bright and busy. I didn't want to make the photo area too busy. Now this is the sticker book, and this little washi tape sheet is awesome. It's sheer, but it's also got kind of a white backing to it, so I could stick it right on top of this teal paper and it still holds the true color. You know, some washi tape you can see through and it changes the color if you don't put it on white. Well, this looks awesome straight onto my colored paper here. I'm also going to pull a couple stickers from there. One says totally, one says for sure. The little tab at the top that's black and white says style, and then those little glasses I thought were cute. Now I'm going to work on the stamps, and I've picked out the little bullets, the little dots, open circle dots with the lines, and it reminds me of a list. And I thought, since this is a layout about me and my sister acting crazy and goofy, I thought it would be fun to kind of do some random journaling kind of vertically around the quote and write down a couple of things that remind me of her, or a couple of memories from our past, or things that always seem to come up when we're hanging out. You know, we're like, hey, remember the time we did this? Or remember the time I did this to you when you were little? Because she's 7 years younger than I am. So we did go through a phase where, you know, I was the older sister and she was the annoying little sister. And so I had to do mean things to her and annoy her. So I'm just going to take some time to write out some of those funny things. Some of them are from way back when. Some of them are from recent. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those ha-ha, let's reminisce type journaling things. And I love the bullets. I love the little dots, and they're perfect for this. And, you know, this would be great in a planner or Project Life if you do that type of thing, but I don't. So I thought it would be perfect for journaling. And it kind of breaks up the journaling, because sometimes, you know, when we journal, we make like a really long paragraph, and the person looking at your layout may not want to take the time to read a whole paragraph. And so this kind of breaks it up and puts it into little segments and makes it easier to read. So I am going to add some of those flowers back in. I like the way it looks better now than I did before. Going to come back in and work on adding some of the chipboard stickers. I'm going to add some hearts and some of the little flowers. I love that periwinkle bluish purple color. It's so unique and so pretty. And like I said before, I felt like the quote was busy enough, so I just added a little bit to it. I didn't want another giant big element somewhere. I felt like everything I've got going around the picture and all of those little details, the little stickers and the hearts and things are just enough. And I am going to come around and do a little bit of shadowing and outlining with a black pen around the quote because it's kind of hard to read, because some of the letters, you know, have various patterns on it. Some of them are lighter. So I'm going to kind of trace around it so they stand out a little bit more. I did add some tangled thread, and here I am with my pen. I forgot to hit record. I was slapping myself upside the head, but I used another one of the stamps, the tiny hearts, and if you can look inside some of the letters, you'll see little black hearts, and like in the O's and the E's and the A's. I went, instead of cutting out the centers of those letters where there would normally be a hole, I just did a little black stamp. So that's the third stamp that I used on this layout, and it gives little pops of black. And I'm also going to finish this off with some black splatters here, and I believe that's going to wrap it up. I did add the date, and that's the final layout. I think you can see the letters a little bit better now that I outlined them in the black, but I think this is super fun. It was fun to put together. The picture made me laugh. I love the quote. It was just one of those fun layouts that just came together once I got the quote down, and it was a lot of fun to make. So I hope this gives you some inspiration on how to use the Oh My Heart collection and incorporate those fun little stamps onto a scrapbook layout. So please let me know if you have any questions. I hope you will check out the Paige Evans blog and her beautiful collections. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.